Welcome to the Roofer's Business Growth Circle with Jacques, the go-to 15-minute power session for roofers who want more profit, better projects, and marketing that actually works. In each episode, you'll hear fast, practical ideas from real roofers and suppliers that can plug straight into your business and grow your bottom line. Now get ready to level up your roofing business with your host, Jacques Skutecki.
Welcome to the Roofing Business Growth Circle, the insider advantage for roofers who want to get found, get calls, and get clients. If you're a roofer who wants to run a smarter, more profitable business without hype or fluff, you're in the right place, and let's get started. Today, my guest speaker is Dr. Ian. And this is a conversation today about his slogan is live better, stay stronger, and age smarter. So this is the base of how well you're going to be operating your business if you are in a healthy body and a healthy mind. So Dr. Ian is a scientist, professor, and integrative health practitioner who helps people build lasting energy, resilience, and longevity through practical lifestyle strategies. As founder of IQ Performance Health, he translates complex health science into simple habits that support performance at work, at home, and over the long run. So this is a conversation today about wellness, anti-aging, and performance. Welcome, Dr. Ian.
It's a pleasure to be here.
How did you get involved? What happened? What was a shift in your life that you said, you know what, I need to do this. This is who I am, and this is how I want to reach out to the world.
I mean, it's a great question. Ultimately, when I was growing up, I really did a lot of blue collar work. So I'm very familiar with blue collar work. I was a professional mechanic working through graduate school. I was training to be a medical doctor, but ultimately that did not work because I wasn't fully satisfied with the sort of a pill for every ill. And so I became a cancer researcher, but that sort of led me back to the same place. I train a lot of pre-medical students at this point. And there are these persistent things that come up all the time. These challenges is there's this dynamic tension between treating symptoms and actually getting to the root cause of what causes people to not feel well. What ultimately got me to this place of becoming an integrative health practitioner is my wife got cancer. And so she had to go through 4 rounds of chemotherapy, and I was there the whole time. We developed strategies around how to make her as comfortable and tolerate the poison as much as possible. But ultimately, my goal was to be able to take her and return her to not just regular health, but health where she could thrive more than she ever could prior to getting cancer. And so heart disease runs on both sides of my family, and I had to make sure that I set myself up for success for health. So I always refer to myself as patient number one and my wife as patient number two. And so we were able to completely transform her health through that process. And that is my motivation.
Wow.
Every single family's got something either going on with themselves or people that they love. And I want people to live better for longer. It's pretty simple, actually.
So thank you for that introduction. So we have a better perspective of, where you're, what type of practice that you have.
Mhm.
And, this is a conversation with roofers and HVAC people, home repair service, and they have stress. They have physical challenges. And what do you see as the major challenges for people in that business category?
Yeah, I mean, first I want people to understand that I'm not like I'm a professor, but I come from a blue collar background. So the HVAC people were actually at my house yesterday morning, and I was the general contractor on my home. So masonry, construction, building, like I understand that work. So Um, one of the best things you can do in my profession when somebody comes out to your home is to treat them with respect and dignity and to appreciate the work that they do. And that is no more true than with roofers. It's a very hard job. and my roof is off the ground. So it's on the backside, it's up about 12, 15 feet. And so I recognize the challenges of that job. As a scientist, though, I look at the people that are working on my house like roofers, and I think about what are the challenges that they face. So the roofing material in and of itself is made out of asphalt and some other polymers. And those can the exposure of that, the constant exposure of your body to those things, you know that smell that it smells like, when you unwrap,
Like tar or
right?
something.
Yes. It's actually quite toxic for you, but that's part of the profession, right? And so it's not that we can never be exposed to toxins, it's how do we deal with those things when we are exposed to them. And so as an integrative health practitioner, managing that exposure is actually really important. Building up your body's reserves and your ability to fight those things, because over a long period of time, those little cuts can add up to big wounds. And we really want to avoid those things as much as possible, because it's not just lost time on the job, it's lost time with family. And those two things combined are unacceptable. So we have to think about that. The other one is, what kinds of effects do these things have on the body? It's not just the volatile organic compounds, the VOCs, that come off the asphalt-based shingles. It's all of the other things that go along with that, right? The lower back pain, right? The abdominal change, the stretching of hamstrings, the tightening of muscles in the front versus the back. It's the imbalance in your body, right? The change in posture. Like all of those things add up. And then you're tired. Of course you are. It's a really tough job. You're sitting in the cab of your truck and you're like, I'm going to eat lunch. What are you eating? Right? If you just went to a 7-Eleven or something like that and you got a couple of hot dogs and a soda, you're actually moving the needle for unhealth further down the road. Like you're going to make yourself unhealthy and it's going to add up. It won't feel like it in the moment, but it will accumulate over time. And that is a scientific certainty. So we have to think about what would be some of the better options, right? And the other challenge, as I just mentioned, is food. Like, how
Yeah.
do you actually get the right food? How do you get the right exercise? I mean, roofers get lots of exercise, but are there things that they can do to counterbalance some of the very muscle specific movements that they're doing in order to have a balanced body and a balanced life? That's really the goal.
Thank you. Appreciate the positioning of their challenges. What's out there? What exists, the knowledge or solutions for them, and where do they start when they want to look at solutions or for solutions?
It's such a great question. I can tell you the place not to look, which is on Instagram. You're not going to find the answers because everybody's got answers, and they just it's just this broadcasting of scientifically unreliable information. We really want to be careful about that because the people who are paying the price on that is us. It's not the people making the content. So we have to be careful with that. The first thing I recommend for everybody is just getting a deeper understanding, measurement of exactly where your health is. There are so many things that are available now through integrative health practitioners like myself, including functional medicine labs. These are not things you can get at a doctor's office. They're not trained in that. They are so incredibly powerful. They provide such depth of information that you will never have learned this much about your body and be able to use that information to take actionable steps. It's not theoretical. This is root cause stuff. This is not putting a band-aid on it. This is not treating a symptom. This is getting at the root cause and being able to deal with that. That's step number one. Step number two is, and this is sort of made possible by functional medicine lab testing, that is recognizing how personal your health is. It's not about the population average. You are an N of one single person, and your body operates a little bit differently than somebody else's. So if you're trying to treat it like everybody else's, you're not going to get optimal results. And that's going to show up not just in your interactions with your family, it's also going to show up on the job site.
Thank you, thank you. And then obviously, when you find out about the status of your health or body or whatever is in there, And then you have a better understanding that, I got to change my habits, right? And that, I guess that's part of the solution, is thinking that these are the options that are available out there. And then how do you implement that?
Yeah, I mean, the implementation is usually the most effective way to do that is to work with an integrative health practitioner who works in partnership with you. They don't tell you what to do, they work with you in order to be able to do these things in the most effective way possible. And that ranges from the whole gamut. So that's the other part of this that's really different than sort of the medical establishment, which is it's about the whole person. So it's not just about diet, it's also about exercise and stress and toxicity and rest and recovery, which is huge for a roofing professional or somebody that works in HVAC or any of the trades, really, is that recovery is huge. And then there's other elements like emotional balance, scientifically backed supplements, knowing what to take, knowing what not to take, and how long to take it, and all of those things. And then also mindset plays a huge role in this, being able to reframe things and be able to perceive things in a different way. That change in perception actually changes your biology.
That being said, I'm thinking here, is there like something like the two or three basic things that under implementation here, that's our conversation. Is there like three basic things that, you mentioned already, sleeping well and eating well, but can you be like a little bit specific that this is like really the base? Is it sleeping well? Is it drinking more water? Is it making sure you don't have salt in your body, or you meditate, or what is the basic stuff that everybody, regardless of how old they are, they
Yeah.
should be doing,
Yeah,
regardless?
absolutely. The easiest thing to start with is something called the 3-2-1 rule, which
Ooh,
is don't eat food 3 hours before bed, don't drink anything 2 hours before bed, and do not get on a screen 1 hour before bed. It sounds crazy,
wow.
but I'm here to tell you, if you want your life to be better, and it's not as good as it is, as it could be right now, if you do more of the same, you're going to get more of the same. So you have to change it up a little bit. And it's not about massive changes. It's not about redoing your entire life. It's about doing small things that add up over time to big things. And that is how it actually gets done, right? Nobody just jumped on the roof the first day and said, "Yeah, I'm ready to go. I'm a seasoned professional," right? The journeymen on the job are like, "Please don't fall off the roof," right? They're like, "Just get through the first day and then we'll teach you the rest of what you need to know." And it's the same with health, right? You have to start with the fundamentals. 3-2-1 rule is very effective. Sleep is medicine. So if you're not getting the right sleep, that's got to be one of the top priorities. So not eating a big fatty heavy meal right before bed is really important. Getting enough hydration, but you also don't want to get up to have to urinate all night because then that disrupts your sleep pattern. And so really dialing that in is one of the best things that you can do. Another thing that you can do that's completely free, especially if you want to maintain good health, is after you eat lunch, just go walk for 10 minutes. Just go for a walk. It doesn't have to be fast, just relaxed, okay? And then if you do that after dinner also, that's going to help regulate your blood sugar. That's going to help regulate your weight. That's going to help regulate your hormones, and you're going to feel better overall all the time. So these are simple things that you can do. And then, of course, the other one is better food. Your body is exactly like a hot rod. And so you have to give it the right fuel. And if you don't, it will not function the way that it needs to. There's an entire area of work that can be done just on the nutrition side, let alone all of the other things that we talked about earlier. And then the other one is, look, we're all busy professionals. Fitting things in is a very difficult thing in a very busy schedule. So one of the ways that you can do that is something called habit stacking. You can do this and this together, right? Instead of having to do one and then the other, you can do them together. There's a lot of different ways to be able to do those things in looking at somebody's day in order to be able to make all of those pieces fit together in a way that serves your health.
Wow. And also, the older you get, the more stress you can get. And also, it's a lot easier to cut corners, right? And say, I'm not going to take, today this world of processed food, and also the world of, you go to any freaking grocery now and you can buy the soup that's made and the chicken that's made. And then you look at what's in there. It's made with junky oils. It's full of salt and preservatives and additives, and it's just crazy. And people buy that stuff because they're saving time, right? We've lost a lot of people lost the pleasure of cooking, right? You come home, you
It's
got your
true.
kids, or you come home, you're tired, you just want to sit down and eat something quick. You don't want to spend an hour, starting to clean vegetables and cook them and all that stuff. And you don't want to. You're going to pick up a chicken at the store that's probably already cooked full of salt,
It's true.
and then hey, the meal is ready, and you buy that soup that's already ready, and it's the sodium content that's hidden in everything you buy. That's
And
why it,
sugar.
and sugar. That's why it tastes so good, right?
Yeah. No, you make a really good point. Can I make a quick, I just want to have a quick
Yeah,
addition to the stress
please.
part. If sleep is medicine, stress is a killer, literally and figuratively. So when you're constantly stressed out, it changes the way that your body metabolizes sugar, which makes it easier to store fat. And it
Ah,
creates this whole body effect. The inflammation that comes from stress accumulates over time. And when you have chronic inflammation over years, that's how we get the top five diseases that kill people. Top five all-cause mortality: heart disease, stroke, cancer, type 2 diabetes, and Alzheimer's. Those are all based on inflammation. So it's not that stress is bad, it's that too much stress over too long a period is bad.
wow. Thank you. I'm learning some stuff here. This is awesome. Future trends. What is going to happen? What's available in 10 years? And we all know that if we don't do anything, the consequences, you just share those with me, right? Those are the consequences of doing nothing. But what's going to be available in 10 or 20 years that's not available right now?
I mean, that's really opening Pandora's box a little bit, but because there's so many things. But let me tell you a little bit about what health is going to look like in the future. Integrative health will be the standard of care, right? When you need acute care, you'll go to a medical doctor. But when you just need to be well, you're going to go to an integrative health practitioner. And so that is here now. I have clients all over the country, and they all have different needs. Some of them are CEOs and very successful people. Others of them are just, I go to work, I go to, do my plumbing, and then I come home and I have a different set of needs than this person does. The youngest client that I have is in their teens. The oldest one that I have is 86 and a retired police officer and what have you. And tons of moms and the whole gamut, right? Everybody's a little bit different. So what does the future look like? Personalized. That's what it looks like. Everything is going to be personalized. You will have a running sort of record of what your health looks like, not like it is at the doctor necessarily, but something that is far more tailored to you and your needs. The things that you will put into your body, whether it's supplements or medications, will be further tailored. And those things are going to help us all live better and live longer. And that's why it's my slogan, live better longer. That's why, is because we can leverage the science in order to be able to do that. There are some more advanced things when it comes to like disease treatment, immunotherapies, and rational medicine, and some of those other things that are going to be in the future. And I think there will also be a movement towards things that are more holistic, but not holistic in the way that some people use that word. When I say holistic, I mean whole person. I'm not talking about, energy therapy and stuff like that. I'm not saying those things don't work. I'm a scientist. I don't do that stuff. I'm a scientist. So I deal with numbers and hard facts, and results. It's got to move the needle. So, but things that actually do work are things like infrared therapy. That stuff is real.
I
Uh,
know. I love it.
yep, 100%.
Changed my
Omega-3,
life.
oh, absolutely.
It changed
Omega-3
my life.
supplementation is a
Yeah.
huge one. These are all things that people can do. And so it's hard to predict exactly what the future is going to look like. Some of it will be based on AI. I personally like one-on-one human connection. That's why I'm an integrative health practitioner. It's one of my favorite things about it is people time. I want to make sure I build a relationship with people and not just like, hey, check this box. And I don't do that. So, um, yeah, so those are some of the indications of the future. It's going to be a little bit of the Wild West, though, Jacques. I got to be honest with you. It's going to, right? There's going to be a lot of new information out there.
And what's really nice right now with the technology, whether you have a Fitbit or an Apple Watch or whatever, I mean, there's a lot of little diagnostic tools that are already there. They're very primitive, but you can find out exactly how many steps you've done during the week, how many hours you slept during the night. And you can also measure the depthness of your sleep, right? There's different levels of sleep, especially on the Fitbit. And there's so many things available now. You get these scales now. You can just get on your scale. It tells you exactly. It may not be accurate, but at least it gives you indication, of your BMI and things like that,
It gives
which
you
is,
trends, and the
yeah,
trends matter. So I wear this thing right here, which is called a Whoop strap. And if I'm lifting heavy, and then it'll tell me my body needs a recovery day, and so I don't go and make the problem worse. Because if you lift and you're inflamed, and then you go do it again, then you're
yeah,
more inflamed, and that's a problem. So really, I totally agree with you, Jacques. I think the future is also filled with sort of more biometric, personalized biometrics. The previous version of this Whoop strap didn't measure VO2 max, right? The maximum velocity of oxygen that you can bring into your body. This one does. The one after this one, which will probably come out in a year, maybe a year and a half, is going to do even more and do it
yeah.
more accurately and more cheaply. At least that's the hope.
Well, thank you. Thank you for those ideas. And this being said, I mean, I always ask my guests if they have an exclusive offer. And do you have something you can offer to our listeners today?
Yeah, I do. I want people to understand that providing value is really the central part of my practice. And so the first thing that I would suggest that people do is go to my website, iqperformancehealth.com. And if you scroll down a little bit, you'll see almost at the footer, you'll see a free toxicity quiz. I would strongly encourage you to go and check that out. It is very illuminating. Once you do that, it's going to send you an email with your customized results. It will also give you your results right there on the spot. So you can kind of think about what that number means. And so it'll take you about 5 minutes or so to work your way through that. You can do it on your phone or on the computer. If you need the URL directly, it's just iqperformancehealth.com/toxicity hyphen quiz. Very simple.
Yeah, the link will be at the bottom of this video.
Absolutely. Yeah, and then the other thing I would say is if you find yourself having more questions, especially after taking the toxicity quiz, and you really have no idea what could be next, just schedule a free discovery call. There's no charge for it. You're talking to me, you're not talking to somebody else. You're certainly not talking to a computer, and
And
we can
AI
chat about what.
generated.
Yeah, it's human powered. And so, I would love to chat with you and see where you're at, see where your family's at, see what your goals are. Those things are all included. We can just talk about whatever aspects of health are really on your mind, and then we can just go from there.
Well, thank you. That's very generous of sharing your time. But that test I have to take.
You can text me when you're done with it, and I will talk you
I
through
will.
it.
I definitely will. Trust me on that one. So I want to say thank you so much for accepting my invitation to be a guest on my show. I'm sure that what you've just shared with us is valuable, and it's like I wouldn't say a wake up call, but you've opened our mind and saying, you know what, let me find out a little bit more about what you can do in being responsible, because at the end of the day, you just want to be more productive. You want to function better, right? You want to have a better night of sleep. You want to function better with your staff, with your environment. You want to take better decisions. And it starts with the body and the mind.
It does, and I want to make this concrete. If your body is decreasing in its functionality, and you have nothing to prevent that from taking place, your
It's going to
earning
get
power
worse.
is going to go down significantly. So you can just clip off a bunch of money at the end of your career, versus if your body is resilient and recovering and strong, and you can maintain that window for a longer period of time. You've just now added a bunch more money to the end of your career, and that's powerful. That's the difference between living comfortably and not.
Love it. Thank you so much again for taking part of this event. And audience, before you go, if you're a roofing contractor or a roofing business owner and today's episode hit close to home, make sure you're subscribed to the Roofing Business Growth Circle podcast or check out our YouTube channel. Each week, we share practical strategies to help you grow profits, build better systems, and run a roofing business that doesn't depend on you every single day, and also gets you a lot more healthier so you can make that happen. Thank you so much.
Thank you for listening to the Roofers Business Growth Circle with your business invitation strategist, Jacques Skutecki. If you're serious about winning, don't stop here. Go to our website, roofersbusinessgrowthcircle.com. Here, you can listen to more episodes of the podcast, get access to free resources for roofers, and book a Beat Your Competition strategy call with Jacques. Until next time, keep raising the bar in your roofing business.